Hello everyone, today I will teach you English literature of 7th class, and this is the remaining part of the same chapter as I was teaching to you in my previous video. The name of the chapter is The Gift of Maggie. Okay, so let's begin the next paragraph. Within 40 minutes, her head was covered with tiny clothes lying curled means curly, tiny means small, and close lying means very close to skull. That made her look wonderfully like a truant. Truant means an absent schoolboy. She looked at her reflection in the mirror long, carefully, and critically. So within 40 minutes, her head was covered with the small, close to the skull, and curly hair that made her look very wonderful, like an absent schoolboy, a schoolboy who has become absent from the school. She looked at her reflection in the mirror for a long time, very carefully, and criticized herself. Okay, whether she was looking nice or not. Of course, she was not looking beautiful, but she was thinking that she was not looking beautiful. Well, if Jim doesn't kill me, she said to herself, before he takes a second look at me, he'll say I look like a Coney Island chorus girl. So let's discuss about the meaning of Coney Island. Coney Island is a New York City neighborhood that features an amusement area that includes 50 or more separate rides and attractions. I think the meaning is clear to this word. Well, now she's thinking if Jim doesn't kill her, she was talking to herself. Now she was confused when Jim would come and he would look at her. He would come to know about her new look. What he would do? Definitely, he would kill her. If he didn't kill her, then the matter will be different. Before he takes a second look at me, he'll say. So, before Jim took a second look at her, he would say, I look like a Coney Island chorus girl. That she looked like a Coney Island chorus girl means a girl who sings in a chorus. Chorus means group of singers. So she looked like that, he would say. Jim would say that she looked like the Coney Island chorus girl. But what could I do? Oh, what could I do with $1.87? Now she is giving explanation to herself. She is consoling herself what she could do with the little amount of money that she had, and it was only how much? $1.80. It is 7 cents. What she could do, what she could purchase for her husband with that small amount of money. After all, she had to sacrifice something, and that she sacrificed because she had no assets, no property. She had only one property on which she could have proud, and those was her long hair, and she sold them. Well, at 7 o'clock the coffee was made and the frying pan was on the back of the stove, hot and ready to cook the chops. Well, it was a time of 7 o'clock. The coffee was prepared and the frying pan was on the back of the stove. It was hot and ready to cook the chops. Chops means front part of animal, meat. Okay. Jim was never late. She heard his step on the stairway down on the first flight, and she turned white for just a moment. Turned white means she got nervous. This is a phrase, its meaning is to be nervous. Turned white. She had a habit for saying little silent prayer about the simplest everyday things, and now she whispered, "Please God, make him think I am still pretty." Well, Jim never got late in coming to home. So that day also at time he reached, she heard his steps on the staircases down on the first flight, and she turned white. She got nervous, very nervous for a moment, and she, Della had a habit for saying little silent prayer about the simplest everyday things. So Della always prayed to God. Della had a habit of saying a prayer for the things happening around her, the things which were happening every day in her life. So for the simplest everyday things, she said a prayer. So that day also she started whispering, means speaking very slowly in a low tone, a prayer. Please God, make him think, means Jim think that she was still pretty. The door opened and Jim stepped in and closed it. He looked thin and very serious. So that day the door opened, Jim came upstairs in his room, and Jim opened the door and entered the room. Afterwards he closed the door, and he looked very thin and very serious that day. Poor fellow, he was only 22 and to be burdened with a family. Actually, that fellow had lot of responsibilities, number of responsibilities in comparison of his age. He was just 22-year-old. He was only 22 years old, and he was burdened with the responsibility of his family. He needed a new overcoat, and he was without gloves. Well, the door opened and entered Jim into the room. Afterwards, at the back, he closed the door. He looked very thin and very serious. Why? Because in the age of 22, he had many responsibilities. Responsibility of the family. It's a great burden to manage. Those who are spending money, they cannot tell anything how the things are being managed. Children, I just want to tell you, you think about yourself. You don't know from where the money is coming, how your parents are managing, how the earner of the family, the only earner, if both are earning, mother and father, so really is good luck. But if only father is earning or only mother is earning, then it is problematic. You can think, you can know. Can you? No, you can never think, you can never know how they are managing the things. You feel it, very simple thing, that parents are earning. Whenever you demand anything, they fulfill your demands. Whenever you ask for anything, they provide you money because they think that your needs are very necessary. It's very important to fulfill your desires, your needs. They sacrifice their own needs, their own favorite things only for your comfort, your betterment. And what do we return to our parents? Just think for a second. We cannot know anything about it, how they are managing. Their salary is meager, and their the expenditure of the house is more. So how they are managing the things? I'm talking about the earner, look after their family. They earn, and beforehand they manage. They make a planning how to divide the money in different sections according to the different needs. So how they are managing, how they are settling the things every day, it's very difficult to say. Children, have you ever thought about it? No. In the same way, and because of the burden of the family, the earners start look more than their age because of the pressure, mental pressure, physical pressure they bear. So in the same way, Jim was also like that. He was also in problem. He had the responsibility of the family. So he was overburdened, and that's why he could not eat good and could not pass his life nicely. Children, then he started bearing the responsibility of the family, and he became thin and looked very tired. So his nature also changed. He became serious. Okay? Even he could not purchase new clothes for himself. Even he could not purchase new clothes for himself. Because he had to manage everything. The earner cannot think about himself. First of all, he will think about his family. The members of his family. Somebody is not having shirt, somebody's medicine will come, somebody's school fee will be deposited. These are the things that the earner will have to think first, then he will think about himself. So he never think about his own dress up, because first of all he will manage the family, and his number will come in the end. Okay, Jim stopped inside the door. His eyes were fixed upon Della. Jim came inside, stopped. He saw Della. His eyes were fixed upon Della, and there was an expression in them that she could not read, and it terrified her. And in Jim's eyes, there was a different kind of expression. Jim gave a different kind of expression through his eyes, and Della could not understand. Della could not read what he was thinking at that time. And it terrified her, and she filled with terror, fear. What he was thinking? He was about to beat her, or he would not say anything to her. So there was a big confusion about it. Well, it was not anger, nor surprise, nor disapproval, nor horror, nor any of the sentiments. Sentiments means emotions that she had been prepared for. These expressions that she gave through his eyes were not anger, nor surprise, nor disapproval. Disapproval means he did not approve her new hairstyle, nor horror, nor any of the emotions that he had been prepared for. He simply stared at her fixedly with that particular expression on his face. So with that particular expression on his face, he looked at Della, her new look, her new hairstyle. He looked at her without expression, expressionless fellow, no sentiment. He expressed nothing through his face for Della. Well, Jim, darling, she cried, don't look at me that way. Now, Della said he should not look at her in that way, with that expression, as he looked at her. I had my hair cut off and sold because I couldn't have lived through Christmas without giving you a present. She explained the problem to her husband. She told that she could not stop herself from giving him appropriate present at the time of Christmas, and she could not control her desire to give a suitable present to him on the Christmas Eve. It will grow out again. And if she talked about her hair, she explained that she said that the hair would grow again. No problem was there, but she purchased a present, a gift for her husband. She could not control her desire to give a suitable gift to her husband. That's why she could not control herself and she sold her hair. She purchased a gift for her husband. See, Della explained all this to her husband, Jim. It will grow out again, you won't mind, will you? And now she wanted to know the feeling of her husband, what he was thinking. What was his reaction? Because he was without reaction. She expected that he would not mind it that she did, cutting off the hair. And I just had to do it. My hair grows awfully fast. Okay. And she said that she had to do that. Why? Because she had no money for purchasing the gift. So she said that she had to do that. And she also explained that her hair was of a different quality and hair could grow very fast. So again, the hair would grow fast. So there was no problem in selling the hair. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let's be happy. And afterwards, she was trying to convince her husband and said that he should say Merry Christmas. He should wish Merry Christmas to Della and he should be happy. They should be happy. You don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I've got for you. And she also explained about the gift. She told Jim about the gift that she brought for him. She said that he could not expect that what gift she brought for him. There was a very beautiful, very nice gift that she brought for Jim. You've cut off your hair? Asked Jim. Now Jim was asking. She got her hair cut. Cut it off and sold it, said Della. Della replied that yeah, she got her hair cut and sold her hair. Don't you like me just as well? And now she was asking that without hair, long hair like that, he didn't like her. I mean, without my hair and tie, and she was as it is, even without hair. She did not change. She was still Della, and the same Della whom he loved a lot. Okay? Jim looked about the room curiously. So very excitedly, Jim looked about the room, means in the room, very excitedly. You say your hair is gone, he said, with an air almost of idiocy. Idiocy means extremely foolishness. Okay, lot of foolishness. So now again he was confirming and he said that it means she sold her hair. She got her hair cut and she sold her hair. and he said this with the expression of foolishness. "You needn't look for it," said Della. "It's sold, I tell you." Della said that he should not look for her hair because she had already got her hair cut and she had already sold her hair. So now there was no chance to look for her hair. It's Christmas Eve. "Boy, be good to me." As that was the eve of Christmas, so he should be very good to Della. His behavior should be good to Della. For it went for you, because she had sold her hair for Jim. So he should have a nice behavior with her. Maybe the hairs of my head were numbered. She went on with sudden serious sweetness. "But nobody could ever count my love for you." "Well," she said, that if she talked about her hair, maybe the number could be counted, but nobody could count her love for Jim. Means she had immense love in her heart for Jim. The number of her hair might be counted, but the love for her husband Jim could not be counted that she had for him. "Shall I put the chokes on, Jim?" Now she was asking for the dish that she prepared for Jim to put. Out of his trance means unconsciousness, Jim got almost unconscious when he came to know that Della had got her hair cut and sold them. So he came from his unconsciousness out. Jim seemed quickly to wake. He seemed quickly to wake up. He unfolded his Della. Unfolded means hugged. He hugged Della. Then he drew a package from his overcoat pocket and threw it upon the table. And afterwards he took off a packet from his overcoat pocket, and he threw that on the table. White fingers and nimble tore at the string and paper. And what did Della do? White fingers of Della. Nimble means fast. Tore means tear. Tore the envelope very fast. Tore the paper of the envelope very fast and opened the string. And then an ecstatic scream of joy. Ecstatic means excited. Scream means shout. Then an excited shout of happiness, joy came from Della. And then, alas, a quick feminine change to hysterical tears. Hysterical means mad, crazy. And afterwards she felt very unhappy, and quick female change of nature was there. She started crying. Wails means cry. Started shouting and crying, necessitating the immediate employment of all the comforting powers of the lord of the flat. For there lay the combs, the set of combs, said. Well, she started crying, necessitating the immediate employment of all the comforting powers of the lord of the flat. So first of all, she was thanking for that gift. Okay. Afterwards, for there lay the combs, the set of combs, side and back, that Della had worshipped long in a Broadway. Broadway means an area in New York. Window, beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell. Shell means outer covering, with the jeweled rims, means frame of jewelry. Just a shade to wear in the beautiful vanished hair. Well, there lay the combs, the set of combs, side and back that Della had worshipped long. Means Della was demanding such kind of combs from a long time from the Broadway window. Beautiful combs, pure, made up of pure tortoise outer covering and covered with the jeweled frame, just a shade to wear in the beautiful vanished hair. But these combs could not be used in the beautiful hair that she had lost, because she had not long hair on her head now. So those combs could not be worn. Weared, sorry. They were expensive combs. These combs were very expensive. She knew, and her heart and simply craved means strong desire, and she had a strong desire from her heart for those combs and yearned over them. Yearned means to have a strong desire without the least hope of possessions. She had never hoped for such a precious and beautiful gift from her husband, because he had no money for that. There was a money problem in their family. So it was an unexpected gift from her husband that she got that day. It was an unexpected thing that happened with her. She got unexpected gift on Christmas Eve. But that should have adorned means decorate. The coveted adornments were gone. But the things that she had to decorate with those combs, her long hair, those long hair had already gone now. She could not decorate them, but she hugged them to her bosom. Bosom is this portion. Okay. She hugged the combs to her bosom, and at length, means at last, she was able to look up with dim eyes. So, because her eyes were filled with tears, so the sight was dim, she looked up and smiled and said, and afterwards she smiled and said, "My hair grows so fast, Jim," and gave consolation to herself and Jim that her hair had quality to grow very fast. And then Della leaped up like a little singed cat and cried, little singed cat, and cried, "Oh, oh, oh." Afterwards, Della started jumping. Leaping means jump, like a singed cat, and cried, "Oh, oh." Jim had not yet seen his beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. The dull, precious metal seemed to flash with a reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. Ardent means strong. Jim had not yet seen what beautiful gift was given to him by his wife, for which she sold her hair. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. Well, the dull precious metal seemed to flash with the reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. Well, she held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. She kept that chain on her open palm to show Jim that she had purchased that for him. The dull precious metal platinum seemed to flash, means it was shining a lot with the reflection of her bright and ardent spirit, because of the metal, quality of metal that was shining very brightly. And she kept that on her hand, and it was flashing a lot with the reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. Ardent means strong spirit. Isn't it a dandy, Jim? Dandy means impressive. Now she was asking, was the chain not impressive? I hunted all over town. Hunted means to search. To find it, you will have to look at the time 100 times a day. Now give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on it. She said that in the whole city, in the whole town, she roamed. Then she searched that. She purchased that, and now she wanted watch from Jim so that she could fix that chain into that watch, and now she wanted to see how that would give, what kind of look that will give now. And after wearing that, he could see the time hundreds of times in a day, several times in a day. Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch. So instead of giving her his watch, tumbled means rolled. Jim rolled down on the couch and put his hands under the back of his head and smiled. And afterwards he put his hands behind his head and now he smiled. Dell, said he, let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them a while. Now he asked Della, because he had already sold the watch, and by selling the watch he purchased combs for Della. So he had not the watch with him. He said that they should keep their Christmas gifts away from themselves for a while. They are too nice to use just a present. Both the gifts were very nice to use, and let them be a present at that time. I sold the watch to get the money to buy your combs. And he told her that he sold his gold watch for purchasing the combs for her. And now suppose you put the chokes on. And he hoped that now she would put the dish that she prepared to eat, she would serve now. The Magi, as you know, were wise men. I told you the meaning of Magi in the beginning, that Magi was a group of three wise men who brought gifts on the birth of Jesus Christ. The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men who brought gifts to the babe in the manger. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. So who started this tradition to give presents on Christmas? This tradition was started by Magi, a group of three wise men who brought gifts on the birth of Jesus Christ in manger. Being wise, their gifts were no doubt wise ones. So as they were wise, so their gifts were also wise, no doubt. Possibly bearing the privilege means honor, of exchange in case of duplication. Duplication means exchange. You know, gift and return gift. So they started this tradition. If somebody is giving you gift, then a return gift will also be given. From one side, if gift is coming, then return gift should also be given. So this tradition was started by them. And here I have lamely. Lamely means unsmartly. Related to you the uneventful chronicle means record, of two foolish children in a flat who most unwisely sacrificed for each other. Now he was talking about each other, Della and Jim. He was saying that their story was just like that, he had unsmartly related to her the uneventful record of two foolish children in a flat who most unwisely, means without thinking, sacrificed for each other the greatest treasures of their house. The greatest treasures of the house, two things I told you in the beginning, they had two things only in their house that was the biggest treasure. He had his gold watch and she had long beautiful hair. So they had sacrificed both the things for each other and their gifts were useless for them. But in a last word to the wise of these days, let it be said that of all who gave gifts, these two were the wisest. And now he said at last, he wanted to say something at last to the wise of these days, wise thing of these days. Let it be said that of all who gave gifts, these two were the wisest. Well, I would like to say that Jim said at last that it's okay, the work that they did, it was unwise, but the gifts that they gave to each other could be said those were the wise gifts. It is, that was all because of the sacrifice. Their sacrifice made their gifts very wise. What kind of feelings they had for each other in their gifts, it could not be explained. So thus it could be said, they were unwise, but their gifts were wise. Of all who give and receive gifts, such as they are wisest. Of all who give and receive means the person who gives gift and the person who receives the gift, such as they are wisest. Okay, well, everywhere they are wisest, they are the Maggie, and they are the wisest, and everywhere they are the wisest. Who are giving the gift, who are receiving the gift, both are the wisest, and they are the Maggie who are giving the gift or receiving the gift. They are Maggie. So in this way, the chapter is over. In my next video, I will teach you the next chapter. Till then, goodbye.